What's going on, guys? How are you doing? I'm right now recording live in the Thinking Forward University, Start Thinking Forward Studios. This is the first time that we're doing it, so you guys get to see exactly what I'm talking about. For those out there, some of you guys are like, okay, I want to stream live. Look, guys, this is going to be posted on YouTube. So by next week, hopefully we'll have this technology thing worked out, and then we'll most likely have a Google Hangout. Alright, so the first thing I want to talk about real quick is going to be the quote of today. Our message today is second quarter living with the Motivational King. Alright, so what we're talking about, I have a video out early this week that I put out. It was addressing a lot of different things, dealing with, the day is April 1st, don't be an April Fool. Now, for those that may not have seen that video yet, you'll be getting it real soon on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter, and all those other social outlets that we here at Start Thinking Forward is a part of. So the most critical part is that you don't want to be an April Fool. Alright? What does that mean? Meaning that 90 days has lapsed. Okay? That means it's the first quarter. Meaning out of 365 days, if you break that down, there's 3 months each quarter. So you got January, February, March. It's now April. Where are you at with those goals that you set for the beginning of the year 2015? Some of them we may have said that we were going to do some things, then we let it go. Whatever the case may be, where are you at right now? So now we're having that little intervention where we're having a locker room session where now the team, which is us, now we're taking what we call a time out. Now we're not scoreboard checking. Not every 2 seconds we're looking at the scoreboard. You dribble, you make a shot, you're looking at the scoreboard, you're looking at the scoreboard. That's not what you want to do. That's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is taking a strong evaluation. The first quarter has lapsed. Yes, I'm rolling up my sleeves right now. So I'm rolling up my sleeves. We're about to get into it, baby. We're about to do some stuff tonight. We're going to talk. We're going to dive deep into it. Alright? So the first quote of the day is by Henry Ford. Everyone knows who Henry Ford is, but this is what he says. He says, life is a series of experiences, each one of which makes us bigger, even though sometimes it is hard to realize this, for the world was built to develop character. And we must learn that setbacks and grievances which we endure help us march onward. What does that mean? Meaning that when you face with obstacles and setbacks, what does it do? Number one, it makes us what? Uncomfortable. When we're uncomfortable, that's when innovation comes. A lot of people just want to be comfortable, so when hard times come, when you're faced with certain situations, hey, I'm raising my hand here because guess what? I've been faced with a lot of tough situations, and I'm going to tell you what it did. It made me push forward. It made me keep on pushing no matter what, because I already had the vision. I made that vision plain and clear as day, is that that's what I want to do. I mandated it. I put down my tent. I put that flag down. I said, this is where I'm pitching my tent. I'm not going anywhere else. This is where I'm staying. So what happens when you do that type, when you start thinking that way? What happens when you start thinking that way and adversity comes and you say, man, I'm not moving no matter what? Things start lining up. He's like, you know what? No matter what challenges we put on this guy or girl, he or she just won't give up. He just won't give up. So what happens is that it starts building character. And you say, you know what? No matter what comes my way, I'm still going to I'm a survivor. I'm a survivor, baby. Huh? So I'm a survivor. You cannot get in that mode where you're just operating out of Loserville and you're operating out of someday island. Someday I'm going to get it done. Someday is not a day on a calendar, okay? So when those adversities come, understand that it's character building. It's going to build your character. Now look, tonight I'm not about, and I want to make sure I have clarification, because I want everyone to understand when I say, everyone, the self-proclaimed name or the Motivational King. Check this out, guys. I'm not here just to motivate you. Okay, we can throw that to a corner, put that somewhere, let it die, put it in his grave, never to be exhumed. Because I'm not here to just motivate you. Okay, I'm not just a motivational speaker. Now, understand that my words may inspire you to greatness and may motivate you, but that's just scratching the surface. I'm just not here to motivate you. Just imagine if I don't give you anything of substance, no type of education, no type of understanding of what I'm talking about, what did I just do? And basically you're still operating in the same type of space you were in before. I just motivated you, but you're not going to do anything. It's like motivating a dummy or an idiot. Now you got a motivated dummy. You got a motivated idiot. That person still is at the same level, but they so excited. Oh yeah, man, I'm about to knock it out the door. I'm so excited. I don't know nothing. I'm ready to move. So you have to understand that motivation alone does not get it. And that's what we talk about with Start Thinking Forward University is, and part of that passion, purpose, Mindset Academy, where we're actually coming up with sound doctrine and showing you systematically how to change your mindset and how to change the way you think and change your behavior. That's the real meat of the situation. It's not about just, woo, I'm on fire and I spent all this crazy amount of money to see some guy that I never see again and I'm real close to him, so when he farts I can smell it. It had to be more than that. So what? You're close to someone, you can smell their cologne or their perfume, but what are you getting from it? That's the key to it. You can read every book, you can go to every seminar, every lecture, you can be the first one up front, but if you're not understanding and getting anything of substance, if it's not building your character, if it's not changing the way you think, then you just read another book. You just took another seminar. It doesn't mean anything. It's not of substance. And that's what we have to learn, is that we have to be able to get something of substance. So the second quote I want to read from you is by Colin Powell. And this is what Colin Powell says. He says, I think whether you're having setbacks or not, the role of a leader is to always display a winning attitude. Now look, check this out, guys. What do I mean by having a winning attitude? Now understand that having a winning attitude is always, I can always say this, with ease, that it's easier said than done. It's hard to have a positive attitude when all hell's breaking loose in your life. You're losing people, family members are dying, you're facing all types of situations, you're having financial crisis, your family falling apart, your kids acting crazy, all this craziness happening, and then you still gotta come up with a winning attitude. Oh, I'm just so happy. My baby just robbed the bank the other day. I'm just so happy. Oh man, well you're not. You're going through trials, you're going through tribulations, but most times that's what we do. We put on a nice little smile, everything just great. Oh yeah, I just found out I'm sick. There's all types of things. Sometimes we have to be real. We have to sit back and just be real with ourselves and say, you know what? I'm going through a crisis right now. I recognize that I'm going through a crisis. And it's okay, because life offers crisis. And that's what's supposed to happen. So it's not a matter of how things come to me, but it's a matter of how I handle what comes to me. So now I'm not going to put on the front as if everything's okay, but I'm going to still have a winning attitude to understand that no matter what, at the end, I know for a fact, undoubtedly, that I'm going to win. But right now, I'm going through a trying time. But guess what? I'm not going to let my circumstance dictate my purpose. I'm not going to let my circumstance dictate my future. Now, that's real. Now, but it takes a certain type of person to think like that, to rationalize like that. Now, you may be saying to yourself right now, what type of person? How do you become that type of person? One, you become that type of person, first of all, by having the right mindset. Well, how do you have the right mindset? Is engulfing yourself in an environment that's conducive for growth. Does that mean that you have to read books? Yes, because there's knowledge that you just can't get from a video or an audio. There's different perspectives all around the world that people have written. You got to think about the Library of Congress. They have every book known to man pretty much in this Library of Congress. Why? Why is it so important to have this information? Because they want to have a perspective, whether it's national, international. What perspectives are you pouring into yourself to look outside of yourself? oftentimes we always try to look for the answers, well, the answers are, I'm going to solve this problem. Albert Einstein said this, and I'm going to paraphrase it a little bit, but he basically said that my thinking got me to where I'm at right now, to the problem that I'm at. So if my thinking got me here, how's my thinking going to get me out of it? And if my thinking does get me out of it, how long am I going to actually be able to stay out of it? So you got to ask yourself that question. So sometimes we have to get help. And that help doesn't mean you have to go putting everyone in your business, but you got to get different ideas. Okay, the Motivational King Radio Show is a different idea. I present to you different perspectives about different issues. Some people might say, yeah, man, that's mind-blowing. While someone else might say, that's crazy talk. But it's just an idea. It's unlocking that combination lock that I talked about in the earlier video. You may have just one number that you need, and that's one more idea. So I'm expressing to you another idea that can challenge you to take your life to the next level. That's it. That's it. It's up to you to do your own research, do your own due diligence, reading books, making sure that you're associating yourself with the right people. That's what helps you have the mindset. So just imagine you have a person, let's say that this person is enrolled in the Passion Purpose Mindset Academy. Okay, now they're getting, they got a workbook that they're working on every week. They're engulfing themselves in video. They may be reading Becoming Who You Should Be Despite Who You Are, the Thinking Forward Approach to Purpose and Fulfillment. They're reading that book from cover to cover. They're tuning in to our private calls that we have for members only that's a part of that academy. They're tuning in. They're getting all this information. So now they say, you know what? I got to take it to another level. I'm getting fired up, but right now I got to take it to another level. So what am I doing? So I'm associating myself. I'm making sure I'm getting into Facebook. I'm making sure I'm going into that private forum that's there. I'm interacting with other people that's a part of this doggone program. I'm also connecting with people in my community, getting the right association with people that want the same things out of life that I want. So even when the bad days come, I can still endure. So that's not faking the funk. That's real talk. That's being real about your situation. So even though you might be going through a bad situation, you're doing the right things. What I have found is that most time, a lot of us are doing the right things just at the wrong time. And some of us are doing the right things at the right time, but in the wrong sequence. So just think about it. Like, it's so many variables to why you may not be successful. So now we're 90 days into 2015. You may not have realized now, brought to your front and center to you and say, look, we're 9 days in. What did you say on January 1st that you was going to do that you haven't done yet? Interesting. So how many points have you lost in the first quarter? How many points did you give up to the other side? How many interceptions did you give to the other team because you weren't committed to doing what you're supposed to do? You're not committed to carrying on. All right. So we talked about the quotes of the day. And like I said, we're streaming live right now from the Start Thinking Forward Studios. First time ever we're streaming. So guess what, guys? You'll be able to see this on YouTube in probably a couple of hours following this video. All right. So the first thing I want to talk about, we're having a locker room session. We're talking about taking this time out. We're not talking about scoreboard checking, but we're talking about how do we create. How do we know where we're at and where we're going? Okay, so now is our time to take an evaluation and really be honest with ourselves and say, look, this is where I'm at. This is where I thought I would be, but I'm not there. So what do I need to do to get on track? Now, for some people, that may be an easy answer. For other people, that may not come so easy. So you're trying to evaluate exactly what's going on and what is your priority and how you want to handle the situation that you're in. Now, there's so many people on the call, so I don't know what everyone's situation is. The day's the first, so and this is something I talked about earlier. The day's the first, so someone may be going through an issue where from January to now, they've been struggling every single month figuring out how they're going to pay their bills. How are they going to pay their rent or their mortgage? It might be somebody out there trying to figure out how they're going to pay their utility bills, and they've been struggling with that forever. So, whatever the case, whatever that struggle is, I don't know specifically what your struggle is, but I know that if you're tuning in to us right now, that you want some type of change, okay? But if you want change, then something has to change. Now, my brother was coasting with me a couple of months ago, and he mentioned something there. He said that nothing changes if nothing changes. So you can't expect change, but be unwilling to change yourself. So if you're getting a certain set of results and you're figuring out, okay, there's only been so much time in a day. I got 24 hours in a day. 24 hours is equalizer. And I talked about that in another video. 24 hours is equalizer. Everyone, I don't care who you are, multi-millionaire, multi-billionaire, whoever you are, Warren Buffett, Tony Robbins, I don't care who you are, at the end of the day, we all have 24 hours. So when 1201 hits, you have another 24 hours to take your life to a whole nother level. We're all equal on that standpoint. There's no one that, no matter how much money they have, that they have 26 hours in a day. Everyone has 24 hours. What are you doing with your 24 hours? So you look at your life, you say, hey, this is where I'm at right now. It's April 1st, 2015. This is where I'm at. I'm nowhere near where I thought I was going to be. Things didn't work my way. Raising my hand, things did not work my way. But guess what? It's the second quarter. So am I going to just say, well, I lost the first quarter, so I'm just going to say, oh me, oh my, I was sick, I was in the hospital, I didn't have any money, I had this setback, no one supported me, oh my God, I'm in this pity party of my life. Who wants to hear that sad story? So what? That's supposed to happen to you because that's life. What did I say before? I said in life, it's not really meant for you to understand why things happen. I saw a quote recently, and I don't want to misquote it, but it says something to the effect of, don't be so quick to get things back in your life that left. If they left, if it's a person, if it's a thing, or whatever it is, if it left your life, don't be so quick to try to get it back. Sometimes people and things leave your life for a reason. Sometimes, and I know this for a fact, people are in your life for a reason, a season, or a lifetime. And you can spend your whole life getting upset with people because people don't do the things you want to do. Let me tell you something. I spent so much time and stayed up so many nights because I was upset with people because of what they didn't do or what I felt they should have done and they didn't do. Let me tell you something. Those people that you're worried about, they're sleeping at night. And you're trying to figure out, well, why is my life, why is my situation not changing? Because you're still dwelling on dead things. You're looking for the living amongst the dead. You want life into your life. You want brand new, but you're going to the graveyard looking for it. You're looking for past pains and hurts, and now you're thinking, well, why can't I ever get ahead? Why is this not working out? Because now we're in the second quarter, so we can't talk. We can evaluate the first quarter and say, this is what went wrong. This is what we need to improve on. Let's move forward. But we can't dwell in the first quarter because it's over with. It's the past. The only thing that we can say is it's not even a setback. It's not even a failure. And we're not where we're at in the first quarter. In the second quarter, it's not a failure. It's a lesson. It's a lesson. Think about that, guys. It's a freaking lesson. What did you learn from it? That is what differentiates successful and unsuccessful people, is that when things happen to them, the unsuccessful person, when things happen to them, oh man, oh my God, I'm just so, oh my God, it's everyone else's fault. Nah, they make excuses, but they don't learn anything from it. If something bad happens to you or a setback, what did you learn? What is the lesson did you learn from it? Because if you learn the lesson and you really master it and you learn that lesson, guess what? What happened to you never happened to you again. Now, that doesn't mean, and that also operates in, and I know I'm diving a little bit more deeper, but that even goes as far as forgiveness. Oh man, that's a whole nother level. Is, sometimes I've heard people say, hey, I forgive you, but I won't forget. Did you truly forgive that person? Because if you forgive, it's gone. It doesn't exist anymore. And if you think about it like this, you cannot say you forgive somebody, I won't forget. Those are things that stop you from having those quarter livings and being able to move forward in life, because it's always going to be something holding you back. Well, I'm upset because, so-and-so didn't do this for me, or so-and-so didn't do that, or they should have been there. And then, so what? You got to let those things go. You got to move forward in life. So if you know for a fact someone did you wrong, you can get upset about it and you can act some way towards them, and that really doesn't solve anything. Or you can just say, you know what, I forgive you, and just forget about it. And 9 out of 10, if there anybody body of substance, if they knew they were wrong, they're going to make it right. But there's no reason for you to dwell on what you cannot change, because always look at it like this: the problem's always within you, because you always can change you, but you can't change other people. So if you look at it from that perspective and say, you know what, the reason that this situation happened is my fault, because I allowed X, Y, Z to occur. But if you say, well, no, it's not my fault, it's their fault. So in order for your situation to change, they have to change. What if they never change? And that's what we're talking about. It's the second quarter. So if you're still carrying baggage from 2014, or you're carrying this and this, some people you just can't get along with. Just go and admit that. Some personalities just don't match up with each other. Okay? So, at one point in time you could be, one ace spoon coon. Then the next minute you're just like, you're just not seeing things eye to eye. That's life. So sometimes you have to just let things be. Sometimes it's okay to let things be broken for a while, and then you can move forward. But you got to have that sense of forgiveness. And that is what we're talking about in second quarter living. There are things that's holding us back. There are pains like, okay, I needed money for my light bill in the first quarter, and no one gave me the money. Mom, man, I'm upset. They suck. I'm not going to talk to them for 5 months. Then what if they die 3 months into it? Then what happens? Oh man, I shouldn't have done that. It wasn't that serious. It wasn't that serious. I shouldn't have acted that way. So you got to start thinking about stuff like, what are you holding on to that's holding you back? What is it that's stopping you from actually succeeding because you want to hold gripes and grudges against people? Okay? Those things are only temporary setbacks. If you truly know yourself, and how you know yourself is really to take time. And like I said, we're not just scratching the surface, we're diving deep. How do you really get to know yourself? And that's an interesting question. Like, how do you get to know yourself? How much time are you taking out to really meditate and to think? We're always in a come, go, come world. Everything is come, go, come, microwave, beep, beep, beep. We're always operating that type of. When's the last time you went in a corner or somewhere and just really meditated, where no one's around, where you really just get to really know you and you come into focus? What mantras are you using? Mantras are basically, what are you saying in the morning to yourself? Because I don't care, and I'll give you an example of this. It's a person that's like, someone came to me the other week. I don't want to call any names, but someone came to me the other week and said, Brandon, I really need to lose some weight. Okay? I really need to lose some weight, and I need to figure out how I need to lose some weight. But, I know that once I get in the gym, I start working, I'm going to lose weight. But, I come from a family that's real big boned. And I already know that I'm a big boned person. That's what I do. That's how I am. So I stopped and I thought about that for a second. I'm like, So you're saying that you're willing to exercise, you're willing to lose the weight, but you're saying that you come from a family of big boned people. So basically what you're saying is that I'm going to make a decision to lose weight. I'm going to go in the gym, I'm going to work it out, but at the end of the day, I already know I'm going to be fat again. Think about that. That's what you think of yourself, because that's what you're saying. I come from a big bone people. So what you expect of yourself is ultimately what you're going to become. Think about that. If you say, I'm going to stop smoking, I'm making a decision, I'm ready, I'm going to take the actions to do what I have to do to stop smoking, but I come from a family of smokers, so I already know. So basically you're saying that if you return back to smoking, it's expected. You expecting yourself to return back to smoking because you come from a family of smokers. It's what you expect of yourself is ultimately what you're going to become. So if your expectations of yourself are low, most likely you're going to meet your goals. You're going to meet those expectations. But if your expectations of yourself are high, and they're in regards to something that's positive about yourself, you're going to meet those expectations. So we have to be careful how we set our expectations. And what I think a biggest mistake in the first quarter is that we set expectations that were either too low or didn't even matter to us. So, because statistically it says that people that make New Year's resolutions, within oh my God, I want to say there's like 0 point something % of people that actually try. So I made a resolution, but I'm not even gonna try. I just may have wrote it down, most likely not. I may have told someone, and they don't care because they're not keeping theirs anyway. So you're not having any type of accountability because the people that you're around half the time are in the same thing. They're operating the same way you are. Think about that. We always say birds of a feather flock together, but that's reality. 9 times out of 10, the way you act or the way you are is how your friends are. People that like the same things have a tendency of gravitating to each other. So if you got people that really don't like to commit to their goals and their plans and their ambitions in life, 9 times out of 10, that's you. You're gonna gravitate to people that like you. Now that's not saying that. When we're not, and I'm not trying that to be mean. And that's not saying that to down someone. But we have to accept the truth. And sometimes we inadvertently do those things. We are attracted to people that are just like us. And so it's like, whether it's relationship, whether it's business, whatever partner you attract, sorry to say, and I can be the first person to hand on this one, is 9 times out of 10 is how you are. It's how you are. And it may take time for it to come out, but 9 times out of 10 is how you are. And that's what you attract. It's the same thing. Statistically, they did a Harvard study on this, and they said that if you are, let's say one person is 150 pounds, okay? And a person gets married to a person that's 200 and something pounds, okay? 250 pounds, okay? This is a crazy dynamic. Even if the partners live 2 different locations, that one of them are going to adopt the other person's way of looking. Either the bigger person is going to adopt the littler person's physique, or the smaller physique is going to adopt the bigger. Even if they're 2 different households in a whole nother state. Because it's just the association that you have. It's the association that you have. So it's like, well, if I'm going to exercise, I'm going to find a way to get you to exercise. Hey, just come with me, baby. Let's go to the gym. Okay, I'll go. And you get motivated to do it. And eventually, the person's heavier set starts looking like the person smaller. Or the other way around, where I used to work out, but my baby doesn't work out, so I kind of kick back. But somebody's going to adopt someone's philosophy. Someone's going to adopt. So that's what the association comes in. So that's how you dive deep into that mindset. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just that it's a universal truth. Easier said than done, guys. I'm not saying that this is easy. I'm definitely not saying that. I'm not implying that it's easy by any means or measure. But what I am saying is it's possible for you to overcome a lot of your self-defeating behavior, a lot of your non-income producing behavior. And the first way that you accomplish that is by evaluating what you're doing, why you do what you do, and then getting the help and diving deep. Because, I mean, everyone has issues. Whether it's a failed relationship, past experience of death, whatever it is, there's certain issues that make you act a certain way or make you feel a role because of what you've experienced. And I talked about that in a previous video if you looked at it, when I talk about the past, the present, and the future. And how those things play, like how your present, if your present starts looking like your past, you start looking for similarities. What happens then? You start thinking, oh, my future's going to be the same with my past, and I'm just going to give up. I'm just going to stop hoping. I'm going to stop dreaming. And that is what destroys a lot of people. Okay? Quality versus quantity. Okay, now what are we talking about when we talk about that? And it goes back to what we talked about in the previous video when we talked about, big things versus little things. In 2015, first quarter, mostly everybody was going after the big things. Ho, 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 I'm going to hit it. I'm going to get it big. I'm going to get it. I'm going to dive deep. And then when the first couple of weeks it didn't happen, just gave up. They tried too big. Now, I'm not saying limit yourself. I'm definitely not saying limit yourself. I'm not saying limit yourself. But I'm saying be realistic. You have to be realistic. And that's one of the things that hold us back. That's one of the things that held me back. Is sometimes we get, you put the cart before the horse, or how that saying goes, the horse before the buggy, whatever, you know what I'm saying. And basically what happens is that you're setting yourself up for failure. It's the opposite direction. Like, you have to have a way of lining things up that's going to make sense. So if you're concentrating on the big things, and you've not even accomplished the little things, how can you accomplish the big things? The big things take a lot more energy. The big things take a lot more work. What are the little things you can do? Are you saying your mantras? I know everything that I need is within me. Everything that I need is within me. Everything that I need is within me. I am a success and I add value. I am a success and I add value. things that you're saying to yourself every day? Are those the mantras that you're telling yourself? Are you taking the time to really get to know yourself, to be quiet for a second and just meditate and think and listen to some smooth, tranquil music that's going to put you in a different space where you're away from the world and nothing can come in that bubble, and you're able to manifest new ideas, new inspirations? You got to know that you've been put on this earth for more than just paying bills and getting by. I hope, if you haven't heard anything that I've said tonight, I hope you understand that you were put here on this earth for more than just to pay your bills and to get by. You're worth more than that. Are you falling into sync with what everyone else is willing to accept? Or are you falling into sync with what you really want in life? The problem, most people don't know what they want. See, I have this unwavering thing about me where I know exactly what I want. And I know how many people I want to help. And nothing wavers me from that. Nothing. Poverty won't wave me from it. Divorce won't wave me from it. Sickness won't wave me from it. Until they put me in a box, I'm here. I'm not going anywhere. And that's my connection with you, is that I'm operating my purpose. Nothing's going to determine. I got to keep going. I know nothing else. There's not an option number 2 on the table. It's not an option number 2. When you're really operating in what you're supposed to do, there's no other options. You don't even consider quitting. Well, I'm not gonna lie to you. Sometimes you do, but because it gets hard. It gets hard. I mean, let's be honest. You gotta be human. People accept human. People accept you being down to earth and being easy to talk to and say, you know what? To be honest with you, sometimes it gets real difficult. It gets real hard. But you just gotta just know that you're always gonna win as long as you keep fighting. It's like you reap what you sow. We talk about that all the time. You reap what you sow. So we're sowing seeds. We're throwing out seeds. Most of us don't stay long enough to see the harvest come. Because sometimes the harvest doesn't move as fast as we want. There's times where farmers plant seeds and it's just a bad season. Seeds never come, but do they quit farming because they had a bad year? Maybe they had a bad 2 years. There's been farmers that had bad 5 years. If you look at the story of Nelson Mandela, he was sowing seeds. He was sowing so many seeds, he inspired thousands and millions of people all across the world. He changed people's thoughts and ideas. He always was sowing seeds. But he got in prison. They locked him up for it. It took 26 to 27. Think about that, man. Think about that for a second. 26, 27 years later, his harvest came. What if, when he was in prison, he committed suicide? He couldn't deal with it no more. What if he took his life? What if he stopped believing? What if he changed his ideas while he was in prison? Guess what? They were looking at him. They told him, they made offers, if you change your political views, we'll let you go. Just change what you said. Just take it back. Refute what you said. And he wouldn't do it. He believed that his harvest was going to come. And when he got out, woo, baby, he reaped a hell of a harvest. What are you willing to do to reap your harvest? Some of us we haven't even planted the seed. If you think about it, if it was a crime for you to go after your purpose and to know what your purpose is, to go after it, would they have enough evidence on you for you to be convicted? Some of us, oh man, we'd be innocent. What would you be guilty? I mean, I'm guilty. I'm so guilty. I have people call me, oh man, you're selfish. Oh, I'm selfish? I love helping people by any means necessary. I love what I do. I'm passionate about it. And if it was a crime to find out your passion, your purpose, or to have stuff on you to show that you know your passion and your purpose, oh man, your boy doing a life sentence. I'm doing a life sentence. I'm doing a life sentence for my passion and my purpose. I'm going to be found guilty. Go ahead and put some money on my canteen now, okay? Go ahead and put some money on my canteen now because I'm guilty as charged. But how many of us can say that? How many of us can say that we're working that hard, or we even got a glimpse of it? Some of us, when it comes to our purpose, our passion, what is it we want to do? We hide it. We're scared that other people will ridicule and say, well, it's not nothing of significance. Let me tell you something. What's something that's not of significance is dying with what you want to be or what you want to become in life. That's what's not. That's insignificant. When you take it to the grave with you, that's insignificant. You can't take that back. Who wants to be laying in their bed thinking about, I wish I had. I should have. Oh man, let me tell you something. If I die, I'm 30 years old, and if I die today or tomorrow, I'll miss everyone. I truly will. But I would die with a smile on my face knowing that I tried. And I gave it my all. Even when times got difficult, I never shunned away from it. I never let the idea slip my mind for a second. That I believed in myself that much. That I believed in the ability that God has blessed me. I just believed it. I just never doubted myself. I may have gotten down. I may have been down for the cause, but I've never been counted out. And never will. Can you ask yourself the same question? Is that where you're at in your life? Is that what you're willing to fight for? The true prize is not out in the world. It's not. The prize is not out in the world. The prize is within you. What is it that you want that matters the most? It's not what the world wants. It's not about impressing other people. It's not about doing it for other people. You got to do it for yourself. And you don't want to wait to that time in your life where you're no longer strong enough, and you're getting that proverbial last glass of water, and you take that last sip. Get more water here. You take that last sip, and you say to yourself, man, I wish I tried just a little harder. I wonder what could have came of it. I wish I dreamed a little more. I wish I had touched some more people's lives just a little more. I wonder if my life even mattered. Did I impact anyone? Did I truly make a difference? Or was I so selfish that I made every excuse in the book to not help anyone else? I was so afraid of my own greatness that I never shared it with anyone else. I shared it with people when it was convenient for me. That's what I did. When it was convenient for me, I did it. When they were there, they presented a problem, I did it. But if I had to be forced to do it more than that, oh no. Oh no. I wasn't willing to do that. I was too chicken. And I'm gonna be honest, I'm gonna use the terminology my mom used, I was chicken poop. I was too chicken to do that. But when it came convenient, when it was right in front of me, I was willing to do it. But if it involved me stepping out of my comfort zone and doing something, I always find a way to get caught up in my feelings. I always find an excuse. Well, I did it on this level, but you ain't man or woman that's doing another level. Chicken poop. First quarter, you down. Things not working out the way you want it to. And you're still thinking that it's okay to settle for mediocrity. That it's okay. It's okay. I'll settle. What are you telling your children? What are you telling the world? That your greatness is not worth it? Then you're telling other people, even when you have greatness within you, it's okay. Just let it slide. Take it with you in the grave. It doesn't matter. And that's why you're trying to figure out, why am I losing? Because you're not worried about the small things. You're too worried about the big things and how people are going to see you. I don't want to be uncomfortable. I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. I make every excuse. I self-sabotage myself not to get to it. I'll do it. Whatever I got to do before I walk into my greatness, because it takes me out of my comfort zone. I'm not comfortable doing it. Small things, the little little things. You can do 50 or 100 of those a day. But those things, when you do the small things, those things set you up for success. That's why you won't do it. You go for the big things, and then when you fail, well, at least I tried. But were you consistent with the small things? The small things are what compounds over time. So if you do the small things long enough, I just believe that it's impossible. It's impossible to do something for 4 to 5 years, and I'm talking you consistent with it, and it don't pay off. I just don't believe that, and there's nothing no one can tell me any different. Success leaves clues. Success leaves secrets. And I'm telling you, if you haven't cracked open a book, or you pretended like you read a book, or you perpetrating like you on top of it and you're not, I'm gonna give you a makeshift shortcut. Let me tell you something. You cannot get ahead if you are not doing the right thing. There's no shortcut. Success does leave secrets. But what are you willing to do to get to it? It's impossible for you to sow the seeds and not get ahead. It's impossible, but most of us, we start doing things for a couple of months, a year. Let me tell you something. I've had people that ask me the question, say, man, it seems like you're doing so good and you're so successful. Let me tell you something. I haven't even been a motivational speaker. I've not even been on this platform over a year. Not afraid to admit it. Not even a year yet. But when you decide that you want something so bad enough, and you doggone put your foot down, you say, I'm going for it. I'm nothing going to stop me. They're not going to hold me back. It's a different type of feeling. Nothing can hold you back. Nothing or nobody can hold you back because you're operating in a different type of space. And let me tell you something. When you operate in time, there's still going to be turbulence. There's going to be dark times. There's going to be times that just a little bit darker than others, that you just have to fight just a little bit more. And it seems like sometimes you fight harder than other people that take the shortcuts and settle. But that's cool. It's okay for them to have everything right now. It's okay for you to suffer and go through what you got to go through, because at the end of the day, you're going to have something that 99.9% of people don't have. Literally. And the statistic shows that to be true. It's like the people that's willing to pay the price up front, to pay the price in advance, those are ones they're going to want to inherit the prize. There's a saying that says that if you were to take all the millionaires and affluent people, take all the money away from them and give it to the everyday person out here, within a couple of months, the same people that lost the millions of dollars will get it right back. Because they understand a systematic, they have the formula, they have the blueprint. And half the time they're not even smarter. That's the crazy thing in life, is to know that someone is doing a lot better than you, that the world that you live in is sculpted by people that are not even that smarter than you. Isn't that something? Isn't that something to really think about? That the world that you're living in, the setbacks that you're having, these are things that people that are doing a lot better than you have sculpted. It's not even better than you. It's not even brighter than you. But you're the one facing the problem because you have not figured out how to properly align yourself. One of my things that I say is, and I quote this on Facebook, said, it's peculiar to me that so many people are so busy losing that they can't find the time to get information to position them to win. I'm too busy. I'm working 20 hours a day. Let me tell you something. It's 24 hours in a day. You're working 20 hours a day on a salary job, and you say nothing's wrong with that. You keep doing what you're doing. Because you got to at some point in time, you got to come to realization like, you know what, I can do better. I deserve better. What do you expect from yourself? Do you expect to have better? If someone's using you like a dish rag, 24 hours in a day, you're working 18, 20 hours a day consistently, not getting a break. What does that show? Let me tell you something. That's somebody buying you wholesale and selling you retail. That's what they're buying you wholesale and selling you retail, and you don't even sell. I'm not better than that. I'm not better than the $15, $20 they give me an hour. See, the difference between successful and unsuccessful people is unsuccessful people think about their time as money. Hey, well, you know, I'm worth X amount of money. I'm worth $20 an hour. So if I work 2 hours, that's $40 an hour. Successful look, if I can take 2 hours of the day, do something one time, and leverage and make 22. Let me tell you something, and I hope it doesn't say anything to me about it, but I've got to put it out there. Tony Robbins, I was having the event this year that I wanted to have a real big event, and it just didn't work out because of finances. I did not know what some of the people in my industry gets paid. And I hope I know he's probably, he probably hear this because it streams and his name's keyword to it. So he might hear, or other people might hear, but his assistant sent me an email for the event. I wanted him to speak for approximately 45 minutes to an hour. The email that I got back blew my mind. It blew my mind. Tony Robbins, for him to come to speak for 45 minutes to an hour, not a breakout session, was $150,000. Now, some people are like, how do you make $150,000 an hour? Well, what he's done is that he figured out a way to leverage his time. But see, unsuccessful people think that, time is money. Time is money. Time is money. I gotta make more money. I gotta make more. And making more money doesn't solve the problem. But you gotta leverage the time you have. That's the one thing that no matter how much money you don't have more time. We talked about it earlier. 24 hours. That's all he has. But his 24 hours is a lot more valuable than your 24 hours. Why? Because he's leveraged and understand that it's a lot. He's figured out a way to bring value to the marketplace, and people are willing to pay him that type of money per hour. And you think that this man who once was sleeping on his friend's couch is better than you? If you could find what it is that you were created to do and be able to drill down on that, you'd be surprised how much money you can make. And it's not about making the money. It's about the lives that you can transform by doing so. You may look around and see other people not doing what they're supposed to do with their money. But just imagine if you had money to be able to leverage and help other people in their lives, in their situation. Just imagine that for a second, that you were able to do that. What could you do? I was thinking about it all the time. I'm like, how many lives can I change? And that's what, and we're going to talk about a little bit today about the Cam-Cal Challenge. What exactly is that? Now let me tell you something. I've been thinking about it, and sometimes God puts us in a situation that opens up our eyes to certain things. And I said, man, when I was going through my struggle beginning of this year, I said, man, you can't tell me the world is this cold. You can't tell me people just don't care. Yeah, ain't that much tough love in the world. I just don't get it. What's up with this? I never was brought up that way. I never have a cold heart. I don't care how much people, can do something. I just can't have a cold heart. And when I look down, I seen the pain and the suffering of people. And I'm like, man, I'm in a bad situation. But these people are in a worse situation. And no one's doing anything. It's okay. It's okay as long as it's not me. It's okay as long as it's not my family. And in today's society, that's a problem. Now, I'm not saying you can save everyone and do everything and be everywhere at all times, but you can try as hard as you can to be that person, to be that organization for people. So what is Cam-Cal? Cam-Cal, the Cam-Cal Challenge is what I call it. Cam-Cal, C-A-M-C-A-L. Change a moment, change a life. Our tagline is challenging to make a difference. The Cam-Cal Challenge is something that I created because I want to show a lot more social responsibility. And there's people out here that if you were just to take one moment and change that moment in their life, you would ultimately impact the rest of their life. And you come with this principle of paying it forward. Okay? So the Cam-Cal Challenge, and I don't want to get into details because we're going to be rolling out a lot more information and get this thing, properly instrumented the way it's supposed to be done. But basically the concept of it is basically we're leaning on social responsibility of those of moderate to advanced earnings to pay it forward in a sense to those that are less fortunate. And not necessarily just money, it's about changing people's life and changing people's perspective, because sometimes all it takes is for you to do something for someone. It don't have to be about money. You just do something for somebody that ultimately changed their perspective. And it can be someone that just for over years and years saw a particular race or a particular gender, saw them in a negative way. And by someone taking an opportunity to do something, show an act of kindness to them, it changed their entire perspective forever. So that is the difference. That's challenging to make a difference, to really be responsible and say, you know what, if I be remembered for nothing else, Cam-Cal is going to be one of the biggest things that I've ever done in my life. It's bigger than a book. It's bigger than this radio show because it's about people. It's about restoring hope where people believe that there's no hope to be restored. That's the biggest lie. We are short of hope. We have cowards. We have people that's afraid to go out and show that the blessing that they have, they're too cowardly to go out and help other people to get hope. They're too busy. They work 5 days a week. They're off on the weekend. They won't express hope to no one. They say it's possible for you to get out of the rut that you're in. I can help you. I can assist you. I'm too tired. So, hey guys, it's my idea, my point of view, and not trying to hold anybody's foot to the fire or anything like that. But that's just my idea. It's my views, and I just decided that I'm putting my stake down, and I decided that I'm gonna do something about it. If you want to help, thank you. If not, sit back, cross your feet, relax, and keep looking. And that's what you're always going to do for the rest of your life. When they put you in the casket, your feet going to be crossed. Hands behind your head. I'm just chilling, baby. I'm just getting by. So, and that's, some people just look at it like, I just can't do that. I just believe I have a responsibility to humanity. I have a responsibility for those that follow me, that I have to make a connection with you. I have to change your life because, in the great scheme of things, I'm not even supposed to be in front of this camera. I'm not supposed to be on this radio show. I'm not supposed to be on this platform. I could have been gone a long time ago. I've been in some of the worst situations ever. If you go on Google and you look up Operation Achilles Heels, one of the largest coalition operations done in Afghanistan to date, and I was a part of the operation, part of the 1st of the 508 Parachute Infantry Regiment. And when I tell you that there were so many instances where I really thought I was going to die, that I wasn't going to come back, and I made a promise to myself. I never forget it. I was sitting near a truck, and I wrote some notes down, and I still have that notebook to this day. I said, Brandon, if you ever make it back home from this, that you're going to make a difference, no matter what. Now, I understand that I didn't do that immediately when I got back, but I fell in love with that idea I had. I never lost it, because at that time, I knew the importance of life, and I knew how quickly it could be taken away from you. No one can ever imagine what I seen or what I experienced, or what any soldier that goes over there, that goes in a combat situation, what you experience or what you've seen. And a salute goes up to all my brothers in the armed forces right now, because you understand unequivocally what I'm talking about right now. You understand, there's no doubt that you understand more than anybody that made the ultimate sacrifice. Like people like John Cleaver, that made the ultimate sacrifice. He gave his life. He gave his life. He gave the ultimate sacrifice. And I know for a fact I have a purpose in my life. And I found that purpose through this meeting, through this outlet, through this radio, through this live streaming right now, through the videos that I make, through everything that I do to inspire other people and try to inspire them to greatness. Not just to motivate them, but to inspire them to greatness, to see that they have the potential and see the possibilities in their life. That's my purpose. My question to you, do you know what yours is? Are you willing to die for it? Are you willing to put everything on the line for it? What I hate the most, and then I'm going to be honest, I love people timing into the radio show. I love it because I feel like I can connect with people. But if you're just chiming in to not do anything, don't listen. There's no need for you to listen. Because there's no different than the person that has the information and does nothing with it, than the person just don't have the information. So if you got the information and you refuse to share with other people, you sit on it like a hen, like it's going to hatch one day, you're no different than the person just don't have it. So why get wired up just to get a like get a jump? It's like a car, you try to get it. You're trying to get a jump. When are you going to jump into it? Stop trying to lean on just getting a jump. It's time for you to get running and stay running. Stop every you get off the show, and by an hour later you back in the same slump. It didn't change. Nothing changed. It's time for you to evolve. It's time for you to get out of the motor. And you start running your engine, and you start running after life like you've never ran for before. You run for your purpose, your dreams, your aspirations in life like you've never done before. You get your engine started and you let it run. You let it run. Even when times get hard, even if you gotta get idle for a second, it's okay. But as long as you never let that engine go off, you keep on moving forward. You keep on thinking forward. It's a mindset. It's a mindset. You gotta keep yourself always in the game. You gotta be always ready to fight and carry on the mission no matter what. No matter how hard it gets, guys. No matter how many setbacks you have, you're gonna reap the harvest. If you stay in the fight, you're going to reap the harvest if you stay in the fight. This is the Motivational King. Don't believe me? Just watch. I love you, and I'll see you next Wednesday on the Motivational King Radio Show.